Good day, podcast community. I'm Pete Kane, Podcast Pete, and we podcast, publish, and build thriving communities locally and globally. People often ask me, why do you give away podcasts? Why do you have people free on your show? Why do you create a virtual event where you create a digital asset for people for free? Why do you do a weekly live event for free? Why do you do a webinar and a workshop on Thursday for free? Why do you connect people on Wednesday to learn, leverage, and connect on a meetup? Well, the answer is simple. It's a new business model. It's not my business model, but it's Daniel Priestley, who wrote the book, Key Person of Influence. There's a concept called 7-11-4. People have to consume 7 hours of you. They have to make 11 buying signals, which is a lot. And they have to see you on 4 different platforms. That could be a book, could be a workbook, could be a podcast, could be a course. Anything that's different. So we focus on the top 10%, where people have the money, but they don't have the time. And they want to leverage their money to get my time, my expertise. So when you look at doing a podcast show, you'll see hundreds, if not thousands of podcasts, shows that stop. They stop after 6 months. They stop after a year. They stop after 2 months because they don't know how to monetize it. And they think, oh, everybody's doing podcasting. Let me do it too. They don't have a purpose. They don't have a plan. They don't have a strategy. And without that, you'll never succeed. You'll do it because everybody's doing it, but that's not a good reason. So for us, you'll see tremendous value. And I'm going to speak specifically about the virtual event, our summit. Let me give you a little go-to landing page where you can be a part of this summit. But you've had to have been a guest on my podcast. It all starts with a podcast. I got to get to know you. I got to know your story. I got to know your heart, your dreams, what you are in this stage of your life that I can add value to. And I can help share that, shine that light, and allow people to know who you are. Because if you're not creating digital assets, and a podcast is a digital asset, you're missing the digital revolution. The world changed. We just got out of the industrial revolution. Now we're in the digital revolution. We're actually in the entrepreneurial revolution. And is an entrepreneur hard? You better believe it. It's not for everybody. It'll teach you things that you never knew. And it'll test every ounce of who you are. And if you're not ready for that, the market will chew you up and spit you out. Now, can you learn from that? Yes. Do you want to continue to fail? No, you want to learn. That's why I journal. I think, I journal, I plan, and I implement. Same thing every single day. I've never journaled more. I've journaled more in the last 3 years than I've journaled in my entire life. And I did journal, but I would journal when I was at tough spots. And they'd always say, hey, be grateful for 3 things and journal it. So I would do it. But when you're in the storm, it's not the most pleasant place to be, but you don't stay there. You grow from your trauma. You grow from stress. You grow from that constant, you got to make it happen kind of mindset. If you've got a comfortable job. Like, I don't know how many millions of people up in Washington have a comfortable job. They never even had to go into the office. They're probably doing 2 and 3 jobs, but they get a paycheck. They get a paycheck because nobody was making them accountable until now. You're going to see, American people, how our money was being spent. And it's going to make you mad. And it should, because it's your hard-earned money. That's a story for a different podcast. But what I'm trying to say is, being an entrepreneur, being in your own business is tough. It's really tough. You need a community. That's why we podcast, publish, and build thriving communities locally and globally. Why do we say globally? Because the world changed. It's a global business now. You're seeing creators. I have a gentleman on at 4:00 today who was referred from a lady who referred me to him from my church. Wonderful guy, professional soccer player, Nigeria. I don't know if I could find it if I didn't have a pretty obvious map, but we're talking. He's been on my podcast, an exceptional young man. He's actually in digital marketing. He plays professionally in his hometown. And he has that drive. He has that gut that he's going to make it happen. And we'll partner up. Don't know exactly how it's going to look, but we'll figure it out. I have an idea. He has a dream. He has a goal. He's willing to work his butt off. You can't become a professional athlete and be a slacker. They don't go together. My friend Eric Watson, who I met about 2 years ago, year and a half ago, had an incredible career because he took a challenge from a career day when the guy put a basketball up and said, this basketball can take you around the world. Now, let's say 30 people heard that, and he probably did it at a lot of places. One person took him up for it and worked his ass off. Excuse my language, worked his butt off. And worked and worked and worked and worked and worked and got a scholarship. Division II. Probably could have gone to Division I, but he took what was the cards that were given to him. Could he have been bitter and said, I deserve to be Division I. I'm as good as that guy over there? No, he just went to that college and he set scoring records. And when we started talking, I saw these rings on his finger, and you don't buy rings like that, you earn them. So we've had a friendship. He's been on my podcast a number of times. He spoke at my live events. He's been on my virtual summits. He's a person of influence. He's a person that's making a difference. He took that basketball challenge, and it took him around the world, to Romania, to Iceland, to Brazil. And I think there's one other country in there. But it took them around the world. So you're going to find that people will be challenged. I just spoke to Kennesaw Mountain High School freshmen in their work. What do you call that? It wasn't offered in my high school. I would have been in it because I wasn't an academic scholar by any stretch of the means. But anyway, I'm speaking to the freshmen on habitudes. And you can see the ones that have that spark in them. It was amazing to be in front of freshmen. The opportunity is bright out there. We're seeing some incredible things happen, but they're also challenging. You have to pivot. When you look at AI, how that is going to change our world, that's a major trend. It's technology. It's going to be, similar when I'm sure back when you're riding a horse and somebody talks to you about a car. And in 13 years, I saw a picture of, I think it was New York City, where it was just a crowded street of horses. Then the picture, same picture, 13 years later, had a few cars on there. It had transitioned from the horse and buggy to the automobile. Now, if you said, I'm just going to find a faster horse, you would have lost out. If you say to yourself, I'm going to get one of those cars and I'm going to travel faster, more efficiently than my horse and buggy, then you are somebody that's taking advantage of the opportunity. And as we transition, and we are, as I've said in other podcasts, we have 5 major trends, actually 6. Number 1, digital revolution. Number 2, entrepreneurial revolution. 3, crypto or led by Bitcoin. It's a digital currency. You can't manipulate it. Number 4, technology led by AI. And number 5, mobile, which we've had that for a while, but everybody now has a supercomputer in their hand. Imagine what that's doing to change the world. And the last one is personal development. And that's being addressed by a gentleman by the name of Brendan Burchard, who founded Growth Day. Closing in on 500,000 people worldwide, of people that are doing 5 to thrive. He speaks to us in a daily fire every day, giving us 20 plus years of creating value, motivation, courses. This person is a 1 in a million. No, 1 in a several billion. And Growth Day is the most powerful personal development you will ever see on this earth. And let me give you something real quick. Let me see if I have it up here. No, I don't. Okay. Sorry about that. Oh, yeah, I do. Here. You can get Growth Day, 7 days. Try it for free. Try it. Try it for 7 days. This is a horse and buggy moment. There was people that said, you can get this car for this amount, or you can just keep riding your horse and buggy. There were people that kept riding the horse and buggy, and they got left behind. And then they're the ones that invested in themselves, invested in a faster vehicle. And that's what personal development is. It's a faster vehicle for you. Anything you invest in, if you invest in yourself, the magic is in you, and anything is possible. So go to Growth Day. Go to pkane.me/Growth Day. If you go to our link, which is an affiliate, we're an ambassador, we promote it. You do that and just send us an email at support@pkane.me. We have a gift for you. It's going to be around mindset, goals, and habits. But I say that to say this. One of our free events is our virtual summits. We do them on Saturday. Most of it's live, but we're looking at recording some before then. So if somebody is busy and they can do it during the week, 5 minutes, 3 points. Because if you are pitching, selling, you better know what you're selling, and you better be very clear about what you're doing. The Gettysburg Address, I was just at Rotary, was 2.5 minutes by Abe Lincoln. There was another guy, I don't remember his name. Somebody told me his name was Kane. I don't know if that's true, but it was a speech similar, was like 30, 45 minutes or something, a lot longer. The one speech that everybody remembers is Lincoln's Gettysburg. 2.5 minutes. So be brief. That's a lot to be said when somebody asks you what you do. 5 minutes later, you're just throwing up on them. That's not the way to do it. Be precise. Have a 20-second pitch. We podcast, we publish, and we build thriving communities locally and globally through our KPI ecosystem. 10 seconds, done. Now, if somebody's interested, they'll ask me. If they're not, they say, oh, that's great. Okay. They're not interested in learning more. I'm not interested in blasting all over the place what I do. If you want to learn, it's on a need to learn. You want to learn about the new model, and the new model is we give away 90% of what we do. We give away a podcast. We give away a virtual event. We create the digital assets for you for free. We give you a stage at a live event once a month at Grace Church. That's on the 22nd coming up. We give you a webinar. We teach you on how to do a workshop. We connect with you 3:00 on Meetup on Wednesday so you can learn, leverage, and connect. All for free. But we are a for-profit business. The top 10% is what we're looking for. They could invest in our magazine that runs about $900. When you count the 12-week transformation, break it down and say it's $250 a month. You have to have Growth Day in there, so that's $50 a month. Whether you keep it or not, you'll want to. And then the one-on-one coaching. Currently, that is $2,000. And we activate your book. We publish you. We put you in with other people. We absolutely coach you on the high performance model by Brendan Bouchard. I'm a certified high performance coach. Different than other coaches because there's a standard as a high performance coach that's different. Do I believe in all coaches? Yes, absolutely. If you think you can do it by yourself, good luck. Good luck. Because you can't. If the top athletes have coaches, success leaves clues. And the clues are coaching works. Coaching absolutely works. Look at Michael Jordan. When he went to Chicago after North Carolina, he was scoring a bunch of points, but he wasn't winning championships. Then a coach came in, a Zen coach, Phil Jackson. And what happened next? 5 national championships, 5 NBA championships. It took a coach to bring in the right people, get the flow, get them to buy into his vision of what he wanted to do, how he was going to run the offense, the different players that he was putting together, the Dennis Rodmans, the Bill Cartwrights, the Steve Kerrs, the people that Scottie Pippen. These were role players. He knew what he needed to get to build around a Michael Jordan. And what does he do? He goes out and wins 5 championships. A high-performance coach puts together a legacy that the Bulls had. What happens? He gets hired and goes out to LA. And what does he do? The same thing. Takes the 2 biggest personalities, puts them together, and wins 4 championships. 4. We have incredible potential, but coaching gets the best out of us. So in our model, you can get so much for free that when you're ready to invest in yourself, whether it's in the magazine or one-on-one coaching, we have it there for you. Might be 2 years out, maybe 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. but we'll give you so much value for free. You'll be able to start understanding the key person of influence. It's a book. It's putting your podcast out there. People got to get to know you. 7, 11, 4, 7 hours, 11 buying signals. That's the 0 moment of truth by Google. And 4 platforms. That's the new model, because once that happens, click, the brain goes into the know, like, and trust mode. And what is the principles of people doing business with you? Know, like, and trust. So when you see a lot of content out there and you're asking, what the heck's this guy doing? How is he making money? Well, he's giving away a lot for free. A lot. I gave for free, but that's, hey, you get to learn from my mistakes. So I spent well over what I had to create this model. And so when we want to give you, let me see if I can do this. Doggone it. Let me see. Yeah, let me see. I'm going to put this together. I know, there it is. Okay. We want to give you another gift, a masterclass. It's our ecosystem. You can actually go to this page, click on the YouTube channel, and binge just under an hour and absorb our 10 ecosystems, because it can flow from one to another. And I would say, if you're not subscribing to YouTube Premium channel, which is the no commercials, your brain doesn't need to be interrupted. It's kind of like, do you remember when they first came out with the DVR? You could tape something and then you fast forward through the commercials. A lot harder to do that now because people got to advertise. So, you can't do that. Like when Prime came out with their movie channel, there was a lot of free on there. Now there's so much that you have to pay for. Look, people have to earn money some way. But the best way to do it today is give it away. I mean, there's so much out there. If you're giving value away and people can consume you, they get a chance to get to know you. They get a chance to know your value proposition. They get a chance to build up a lot for free. Then when they have the money, they can invest in where they got the most value for free. So as we build thriving communities, part of it is our magazine. Go to Kennesaw Happenings on Amazon. You can order one. It's 32 stories in there, plus our ecosystem. So as we put our offer out there, 20 people in a magazine. If that's too much for you and you want to spend $50, let's say it's a dinner, you can be in every magazine because the community will have mentions in there. So you're looking for somebody, well, it'll tie back to their podcast. So you'll get the chance to know them, which is good because you got to know who you're dealing with. So many people search and they look at reviews, and yes, reviews are great. I have 560 of them on Google. So I know I always give reviews. But sometimes when you go onto Amazon, you see there were 30,000 reviews. How many of them are legitimate? Now, they do verify views, and that's important. But knowing somebody, knowing the person personally is going to serve you better. And a podcast, you can't fool people. Look at our recent elections. One candidate did 40 hours of podcast. The other candidate, a couple. And it was all pre-controlled. Got to do it this, can't say this question. One lost, one won. You pick who won. He was on Joe Rogan. 3 hours. You can't fool people with 3 hours. What did Kamala Harris want to do? These are the questions you're going to ask, and you can only do it for 45 minutes. They wanted everything controlled. You can't do that. You can't control. The cat is out of the bag. That's why legacy media is taking a dive. They can control. Look at 60 Minutes, the situation they're in. Major lawsuit because they tried to control the narrative. Now, they're still pushing back, but you can't do that anymore. That's why podcasting is authentic. You get to know people. Whatever you put out there better be the truth, because anybody can Google your name. And I always, when I'm sharing with people, I'll say, Google my name, Pete Kane Podcasting. Just Google it. See what you see. See how many podcasts out there, see how many videos, how much information is out there. Then Google yourself, your name. A website, a LinkedIn profile, and maybe one video ain't going to cut it. Because if you don't dominate Google, people are going to think you're not in the digital world. You're not significant enough for them to do business with it because they don't know you. So be a person of influence by creating digital assets, creating podcasts. I've done probably 400 by now podcasts, and I'm just getting started. So you look at my profile, then look at yours, and then the opportunity is in the gap. So get on my podcast if you want to. Go get our masterclass. Go to petekane.me/masterclass. See what we're giving away. Connect with us on Wednesday. Connect with us on a workshop. Be able to be a part of our virtual summit so you can learn 5 minutes, 3 points. Learn to speak in 5-minute, 3-point time. I mean, be very respectful of people's time. If you're not saying little versus saying a lot are totally different. Be brief with how you communicate your message. We hear 60,000 marketing messages a day. 60,000. And if you're going to throw up on people for 5 minutes, which I've seen it happen a lot, when people say, what do you do? And about 4 or 5 minutes later, people are trying to run because you're just, you don't know what your pitch is. You're not brief. You don't give a value. Like when people ask me, I say, do you know how people are trying to get their message out in the marketplace? And they say, yeah, and it's challenging. What we do, we podcast, publish, and we build thriving communities locally and globally through our ecosystem. Now, if somebody doesn't say anything after that, that's it. I'm not going to sit there and well, let me tell you about my ecosystem. Let me tell you about my 10 steps. Let me tell you why I do podcasting. How about, let me tell you about my magazine. They don't want to hear it. They've got their own stuff. Be brief and solve a problem. Now, if after I say that, the person says, what do you mean? What's your ecosystem all about? How do you do podcasting? What's your publishing mean? Then I will explain it briefly. And then if the person wants to know more, it's always on a need to know. I think if you're out there, write that one down, because Michael Saylor with Bitcoin, he's the one that shared that with me. Not personally on a podcast. I don't know him personally. But what I'm saying is, like somebody said to him, well, why isn't Warren Buffett buying all the Bitcoin up? Well, is there a need to learn? A need to know? Of course not. He's already got his, I don't know how many billions. Is he like looking for the next billion to make? He is, but he's doing the same thing he does over and over again. It works for him. So when you are on a need to learn, if you're out there and you're trying to struggle with getting business, think, give away 90%, make your money on the top 10%, the people that value their time. Because everybody gets 24 hours each day. How we use it, that depends on the person. So a person that values their time, that's who we would like to reach with our message. If somebody's got all the time in the world and they can do it all themselves, still get our 10 steps, just do it all yourself. And you don't value your time like you do your money, well, then you got plenty of time, do it. But if you value your time and you want to take advantage of my almost 3 years of doing this intensely, and really 40 years, because I've been learning differently. Because when you flunk English in high school, you have to realize that probably the academic route to your future is not the path you're going to take. So it's going to be a different path. It's learning the hard way. It's building relationships. It's doing things that others may take for granted because they have the smarts to get an MBA, to get a doctorate, to get a degree, to be able to master, the academic part of it. That was never me. You fail English. I go 2 attempts at Virginia Tech. Bomb. Then I get out and I'm trying to figure out, why can I not process these lectures? What's going on? I knew I wasn't a reader. I was a slow reader. Processing words just didn't work. When a professor would lecture, my notes looked like shorthand because the words didn't come to me like maybe somebody that, has that skill. Now, I heard through a friend of mine, Phil, that 20% of the population is dyslexic. Well, back in my days, because I'm 67, back when I graduated at 75 and I was in the remedial reading and I was trying to figure all this stuff out, there wasn't the support that they have maybe today for dyslexia. So I struggled a lot. And I don't know if the weird combination of ADD, I'm not hyperactive, that's for sure. I have an active brain and I process things, but I use Siri, Alexa, and Google Voice to text.
According to Wikipedia, Google Voice is a telephone service that provides a U.S. phone number to Google account
All right, Alexa off.
And Google Work.
See, that's my Alexa right by my.
I missed something.
Alexa off. I gotta quit saying that name. So I use it, maybe 10 times during the day. It's a lot. I'm voice to text with everything I do because the words can be translated. And that's technology catching up with me, which I'm glad it did. Now, until then, it was a struggle. It was a lot of struggle. Every time I had to send out an email when email came about, I have PTSD on emails because you're judged. Man, if you misspell 3 out of 6 words, nobody's going to say, hey, this guy's a scholar. And nobody wants to be labeled that kind of, what somebody's done. I mean, I hesitate to say it, but you feel stupid because you're not able to spell like others. So you're kind of in a cage of shame. Oh, geez, there's my Siri. You're in a cage of shame your whole life. So, do I care what anybody thinks now? No, I really basically don't. I don't give a rip because I have held that whatever for 40 plus years. So, it doesn't bother me now. Having a stroke 3 years ago, was it a challenge? Yes. When you lose your left side, yes. When you have to learn to talk, eat, and do all the basic functions, still messed up. Still, 3 years later, I still walk sideways and it looks like I have early signs of maybe Parkinson or something. That balance is not something that you have when you're getting your left side back. You have to, it's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of things. I went to the gym when I was at Overture every day. For almost 2 years at 5 a.m. I did a thing called Atomic Habits, where I'd stack all these habits, where I'd think, I'd journal, I would plan, and I would implement, and I would drink my coffee, and that was just part of my routine. So I would never miss, because it was kind of like before my stroke, I used to run. I ran in 20 plus Peachtree road races, played golf pretty much 5 days a week after work. So I was very active in those sense. When you have a stroke, those things go away. So it's kind of like the deck gets shuffled, you get dealt new cards, and you got to play them. But it wasn't it wasn't that. It was just a challenge. And I know, because it's coming up on 3 years that I was in Shepherd 3 years ago on February 15th. So Saturday, it'll be 3 years ago I arrived at Shepherd. It's a special place. I get emotional every single time I talk about it, because I came from I'm not even going to mention it. May have shared it on but I came from a place where I spent 10 days, and it was 10 days of hell on earth. And I go to Shepherd, and it is heaven. That day that I get transported from Puckett, which charged me $2,500, no insurance, $2,500. That's the most expensive Uber ride I've ever had. And I've had some Uber rides because I don't have a car now. So that's a different thing. But if I did use Uber, which I do quite a bit, can you imagine going, I don't know, what's the Wellstar to Shepherd? Maybe it's a 30-minute ride, and you get a $2,500 price tag, no insurance. Because when I had my stroke, the Cherokee EMC came, that was $900. And that was on spur of the moment. But this was like trying to get family to, this is crazy, but you're trying to schedule something. It was as hard as you could. Imagine getting $2,500 and you go 30 minutes, and you literally, like one day, it was a Monday. And I knew by 10 o'clock, if you don't get it scheduled by then, and it was hard because you're dealing with all kinds of different factors. And my wife at the time was going through all the steps to try to get me out of that place. And I was basically crying to get out of there because it wasn't pleasant. And that was the night part of that. There's some wonderful people there, but night part of that was not the most pleasant. It was bad. But anyway, I was watching that clock tick, and I knew when 10 o'clock come, if we couldn't get that thing scheduled, I was there for another day. another day of hell. So you don't want to be in hell. You want to be in heaven, and shepherding is heaven. So when I arrived there, and I'm in a gurney, and they're putting me into the bed from the stretcher, I see all my team. Like there's probably 8 to 10 people in that room. They're introducing themselves. Hey, I'm Jen. I'm your past. Hi, Emily. I'm your OT. I'm Becca. I'm your physical therapist. I'm such and such. Dr. V. I'm Dr. Vox. I'm, all these people is like, whoo, this was kind of a pleasant arrival. I mean, even though you can't move your left side, you still feel like you're in great hands with people that care, that have a heart. I met 74 people while I was there. I know each one of them by name. I can go to it because I kept track of it. And there were some wonderful people. Kathy, you're the best. Karen, you're the best. Anya, the best. And I could go down and down and down with the people that I met. Dr. Richie Zane, my friend, to this day we talk, and I ended up being in his room when they doubled up. It was a long story, but anyway, we're friends to this day. We went through the same thing. He had a right side, I had left side. So we man, we'd have breakfast together. He knew every single person in Shepherd because he delivered every nurse's baby. It was the most. It was incredible. He's a wonderful guy. We just talked, and we always talk, and because you go through that, and when you go through a situation like that, you bond with people. You bond with your team. You bond with the people you went through that with, and a special relationship is created. So I know this is a little longer than I thought. Okay. So why do we do what we do? We give you 90% for free. Yes, free. Free, free. Okay. Get my masterclass for free. If you've been on my podcast, be on a virtual event. Learn to speak 5 minutes, 3 points. We got our live event coming up, which is the 22nd. Connect with us at petekane.me/connect. Connect. And let me see if anything else I can give you. Yeah. Oh yeah. This is really cool. It's I think it'll be up by the weekend. But if you're kind of like not sure of the key person event, so not sure of what a digital asset is, but you got to grow your business, then go to petekane.me/JV. We do joint ventures where we do some creative things. We do everything for you. You just give us 90% of the digital revenue, not your traditional revenue, whatever it is, the first year, and then it goes down. So if you don't even want to put any money in, this is maybe something for you because it gives us an opportunity to add value to you, to show you. When we can see something, let me see, where is it? Here's our magazine. When you can see a magazine, the Kennesaw Happenings magazine, there we go. When you can see it, it means something. And let me see if I know I have it here. Yeah. Where is the magazine? If you just substitute petekane.me/magazine instead of JV, you'll see the magazines because we will publish the magazines when we have 20 people together. So we know that that's when we can start coaching you and activating your book, publishing you in a magazine, providing a community of people for accountability, for support, for encouragement, but you're guided by the third step, which is high performance coaching. So get our masterclass, go to our masterclass, and be able to get that for free. Again, it's a free. So, wow, that was a lot, but I wanted to give you a better explanation of why what we do. 90% is free. and you look at a pyramid, everything, the top 10%, these are the people that value their time and don't mind spending the money because they're getting the value. They just value their time more than somebody else. But if you're like bootstrapping it, which I have done bootstrapping, boy, I know what it's like, then get all you can for free. Get on my podcast. Get on the virtual event. Come to Wednesday at 3:00 in the meetup and meet some people. Jump on our webinar. So if you go to /webinar, you can register for that. We do that on Thursday at 1:00. Now we're just starting it up. So, you'll get one today, but jump on our podcast and let me see. I think assessment is let me see. Hold on. Oh, yeah, I'm in the wrong one here. If you want to, there we go. Take our assessment. Get on our podcast. Take our assessment. Hey, look, you get a free asset, a free digital asset. It'll be searchable on Google. It'll come up probably first in your profile because we'll put your name. Google loves fresh content. They just do. So podcasts are valued very highly. So jump on our podcast. Let me get to know you. Let me get to understand you, your story, your dreams, your goals, what you've been up to. It's 25 minutes, usually 25 minutes, but it gives you an asset for free. Just register. So, all righty. Thank you. Hey, this Saturday, it'll be an emotional Saturday. We'll do a virtual event, but I'm going to dedicate it to Shepherd and all the people at Shepherd. So you're going to see a button to help support them. So I will be asking you to support them because they're a wonderful organization. So again, just to see what we do, we even have an ambassador program. Oh, yes, ambassador. Yes, you can learn and grow because once you've experienced what we do, you're going to want to share it because you want the best for people that you know. When you know that something will work for you, you want to share it. And to be an ambassador, if you're limited on your finances and you're starting a business, be an ambassador. Well, first get on the podcast. And then when we get to know you and know that you're a person that wants to make an impact and has a big heart, then you're part of us. You're one of our people, as we say. So, yes. So again, before we end, go to get the growth day. That's an investment in you. For a couple dollars a day, once you try it for 7 days, you can't go wrong. Invest in Brendan Bouchard speaking to you every single day, giving you what we call growth spurts, which starts with a daily fire. It's unique to you. It's like he works with billionaires, CEOs, celebrities, Olympic athletes, on and on and on, the top. Because I don't know if it's true, but I heard he's $1 million to be coached by him. Now, if you don't have $1 million, maybe you have a couple dollars. Maybe you're on that journey to get $1 million, but you got to work on yourself. When you work on yourself, you look in the mirror, you get better. You develop your leadership. The courses are incredible. Let me see. I think I can. Let me see. Let me take this off. And I'm going to show you before we wind down. Oops, stop. Okay, stop. Okay, that's what I do. Share. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now you're going to see. Okay, that's the journal feature. Let me see. Hold on here. Okay, look at the learn feature. Look at that. That's the continuous learning. Here is the courses. And if you look at the courses, look at the type of Here's the replay: shift perspective, start your dream, winning the year, New Year's activation, resetting your why, different. See the different people there? That's Lori Harder. That's Anthony Trex. That's no Anthony Trex. No, sorry about that, Anthony. I know. Oh, he's down here. He's in the challenges, so we'll see down here. But look at all this. Look at this. You want to learn how to public speak? They have it. You want to have fitness mindset? They have it. Emotional freedom? Yeah. Yeah, Anthony Trucks, there it is. Mel Robbins, everybody knows Mel. Look at the amount of people that have taken. 187,000 people have joined it. Look at the numbers there. These are 5-day challenges. That's possible. You get this. Look at this. Crazy. All this value. See this course right here? High Performance Habit Builders. That's free with your membership. So you can test it out. You're not an organized person, getting organized. I do this. I wish let me see. I think you can see. Hold on here. Growth streaks. Yeah, I broke it. I do it on mobile and I do it on desktop. I missed a day, Sunday. I guess maybe that's a day of rest, but it doesn't count because I haven't finished my growth spurts or growth streaks. And as we call the 5 to Thrive. So you listen to, and I'm almost finished. Then you have a prompt, fill out today's mindset prompt. The main project that deserves my greatest focus right now are, here's the checklist. Here is, Natalie, no, wait, hold on. Natalie Ellis, I think. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Then you daily reflection and your growth streaks. So you have them for the month. But it's called 5 to Thrive. You got to score yourself if you're going to get better. And you look at the journal feature, morning journal, evening journal, just a general growth, weekly and monthly, all in one place. Okay. Nope, I don't want to do that. Okay. All right. Let me go back out of here. This has been longer than I anticipated, but I wanted to give you a real good idea of why we give away 90%. So thank you so much. Look, be bold, make an impact, and have fun. Be bold. Make an impact and have fun. Life's too short to not have fun. Look, and you want to leave an impact. Everybody's going to die. Nobody gets out of this life alive. We all are going to. So every day, make it count. You don't have to go through what I call, or what Brendan calls, mortality motivation. Just make a decision that I'm going to make an impact. I'm going to do the best I can every single day. I'm going to show up. I'm going to be present. I'm going to bring the joy into the room. You're going to bring it so you can learn when you're around people that are excited about life, it makes a difference. Life, give people grace. If you don't, hey, look, we got your left and your right, and there's nothing in the middle. If you know somebody that's conservative, hey, you don't have to cut them out of your life. Same way. You want to be around good people, but look, give people some grace. You don't have to attack people with what you're saying. Understand them. Understand people. And you understand them by asking questions. Why do you think this way? Why this? When you do that, you'll be much better off. Thank you so much. Thank you. And be bold. Make an impact.